Hi, my name is Brad Goldman. This is my life. I hope you enjoy the ride.
But what Brad wanted, and what he had a vision for and a dream for his future, was to live life like any other 25-year-old. He wasn't interested in programs and services so much as he was interested in having a home and having a career and having friends and going to the bar and playing sports and hanging out with other guys and traveling around the world and falling in love and having transportation, so that even with his big wheelchair, he could get from place to place. And he had this vision of what he thought life could be. And our partnership over the next 17 years was to travel that journey together and support Brad in being a pioneer in creating that kind of life for himself here in New Jersey.
He doesn't let anything stop him. You can't say you can't do it, because if you say that, he's going to prove you wrong and do it.
Brad is very clear that he wants to be less dependent on state resources, not more dependent.
I am 41 years old and was born with cerebral palsy. At the age of 2, I was enrolled in the Metheny School and Hospital in Peapack, New Jersey. I lived there until I was 26 years old. No obstacle has been insurmountable to me, as evidenced by the fact that, although severely physically handicapped and confined to a motorized wheelchair, I live in my own apartment. I have also successfully graduated from Sparta High School and have taken advanced studies at Morris County College and Raritan Valley College, specializing in computer graphics.
He really is a wonderful communicator, and when things are going well, you can just see it all over him. He almost smiles from the inside out, and he is just animated. And on the other side of it, when possibly something's not going well or we're not in agreement, we also know that too, because he's pretty animated at that time as well.
And he gets his thoughts across regardless of not being able to talk. He can yell at you and give you all sorts of aggravation and not be able to voice his opinion.
We sit and he starts talking, and he talks and he talks and he talks, because he tells me stuff from almost the whole week. I'll say what's new, and then he goes on and on.
I have been communicating with my language board for most of my life. I have over 300 words and phrases on my board, each associated with a number. Along the outside of the board are numbers 0 through 9. To communicate, I look at the combination of numbers that correspond to the phrase or word that I am communicating. The person I'm communicating with translates the number I looked at into the word or phrase to interpret what I am saying.
One night, Charles. Cook. One night, Charles cook. 3, Brad. 1, 2.
He depends on Charles, he depends on Frank in the morning, he depends on somebody sleeping here overnight. Charles can't leave unless the nighttime person comes. All of that any mother would worry about.
And he has to consider how he's physically going to get there and who's going to support him through it and what that day is going to look like.
Managing staff is a really difficult job, and for any of us, it takes a big learning curve, and really figuring out how to do that in a way that works for you as the employer and works for the staff who are working for you. And I just have to give Brad credit for doing a good job of that, and it's evidenced over the course of the years in the fact that the folks he has working for him now have been with him for long periods of time, and that kind of relationship comes from being a good employer and really working hard to support your staff and appreciate them.
I met Brad through a friend of mine. I would take him to be my brother because the both of us from the same country, Liberia, and he met Brad and then he introduced Brad to me. So since that time, I've been working with Brad. So from 2002 up to now, I think it'll be like 9 years or so.
Yeah.
Brad is a very understanding guy, and his schedule is very flexible with me, and I enjoy doing it. Brad let us hang out, and we don't sit in one place. We're all over the place, and we drive all over. And sometimes vacation come, I go with him to Florida, go down the shore, go on the beach.
So for Brad, an accessible minivan was a necessity, and we were able to negotiate that in the very beginning with the Division of Developmental Disabilities. So Brad wound up with a minivan that was his. And one of the things we organized as an agency was an insurance policy that enabled not just folks who worked for Neighbors to drive the van, but also Brad's family and Brad's friends, as long as they had a good driving record. So Brad was really able to use his minivan to go out and do things with other people besides just his paid staff.
I love to be on the go. And I enjoy doing many things, playing and watching sports, working out at the gym, going to the beach, listening to music, spending time with my family, working at my sister's ice cream store, photography, and painting.
He's a hard worker. He's a perfectionist. It has to be right, and if it's not right, he's not satisfied with his work.
He started painting his sister's 21st birthday. She got a dozen roses, and he started the pictures with the dozen roses. He designed a card for Metheny that was a Christmas card, and I didn't know about it, and I got the Christmas card from Metheny, and I turned it over, and it said designed by Brad Goldman. And I foolishly said to Brad, "Oh, you should sell these, you could go into business." And with that, his card business started. Whenever he has a show coming, or a craft fair, Brad prints up an order of 500 of each of his cards. I put the shrink wrap and the bows on them, so I lay in bed at night and tie his bows and make his packages.
And our work at Neighbors is really all about partnership. It's about building relationships. It's about supporting the individual. It's about working for that person and helping them find the best life possible. And fortunately for us, Brad's a great host about that. He basically leads us down that road to let us know what he's looking for.
I have many friends who I grew up with who live in facilities or group homes. I can see how my life is different from theirs. I have independence. I have the freedom to live in my own apartment and to run my own business. I can live a relatively normal life like anyone else. I hire staff who work for me. I have my own accessible minivan. I have the freedom to decide what I want or need to do. I decide where I want or need to go. And I choose when I come or go. I have the freedom to imagine, where do I want to go next?